Good morning, children. Welcome to the next class. Today I am here with a new lesson Bertie and the Lion Cub. Children, listen the story, it is very interesting. But before starting the lesson, we should come to know something about its writer. The name of the writer is Michael Morpurgo. He was an English author, poet, and playwright. Born in 1943, he is best known for his novels The Butterfly Lion, Private Peaceful, and The Wreck of the Zanzibar. He was the third British Children's Laureate and held the title from 2003 to 2005. Children, first answer me, do you have or have you had a pet? Many of you. Was your pet a wild animal? Of course not. Generally, we are keeping dogs and cats or some domestic animals as the pet. Was your pet your best friend? Yes, pets are always the best friend. But is it possible to keep a wild animal as a pet? Let's see in the story what happens if we are keeping a lion as a pet with us. Now, let us know about the summary of the story. Children, this is a story taken from The Butterfly Lion. One day, Bertie rescues a lion cub from a pack of hyenas. His mother surprisingly comes to help Bertie rescue the lion cub. They bath and feed him. When Bertie's father comes back, his mother convinces him to let the lion cub stay with them. And from then on, the lion comes to live with Bertie and his family. The lion cub grows up with Bertie, and when his mother asks him to give the lion cub a name, he refuses and said that people have names, lion don't have. His mother is very patient with the lion cub, even when he tears cushions and smashes crockery. Unlike his father, who thinks lion should not be in the house. But by then the lion cub has become Bertie's friend and lives in the house with them. Children, now we are going to read the chapter paragraph wise. One morning, Bertie was woken by a chorus of urgent neighing. He jumped out of his bed and ran to the window. Means Bertie was woken up by listening the sound of some wild animals. He ran to the window. And what he saw there? He saw a herd of zebras was scattering away from the waterhole, chased by a couple of hyenas. Means a couple of hyenas were chasing the zebras and the zebras were standing near about the waterhole. Then he saw more hyenas, three of them, standing stock still. Means the hyenas were not making any movement. Their noses was pointing and eyes were fixed on the waterhole. It was only now that Bertie saw the lion cub. But this was not at all a white one. The lion cub was covered in mud, with his back to the waterhole, and he was waving a pathetic paw at the hyenas. Means the lion cub wanted some sympathy from the hyenas, and hyenas were beginning to circle. The lion cub had nowhere to run, and the hyenas were coming ever closer. Children, this is the second paragraph. Bertie was downstairs in a flash, leaping off the veranda and racing barefoot across the compound, shouting at the top of his voice. Within no time, Bertie came to downstairs. He crossed veranda and he was barefoot, means no footwear in his legs. He threw open the gate and charged down the hill towards the waterhole. yelling and screaming and waving his arms like a wild thing. It means that Bertie was very much excited to rescue the lion cub. Startled at this sudden intrusion, the hyenas turned tail and ran. And when hyenas noticed Bertie, they ran from there. But not far. Once within range, Bertie hurled a broadside of pebbles at them. Suddenly, Bertie started to throw some pebbles on them. And they ran off again, but again not far. Then he was at the water hole and between the lion cub and the hyenas, shouting at them to go. They didn't. Now Bertie was confused what to do because hyenas were not ready to move. They were not ready to leave the lion cub. They stood and watched uncertain for a while. Then they began to circle again closer and closer, and the hyenas started to come close to Bertie and lion cub. That was when the shot rang out. The hyenas bolted into long grass and were gone. When Bertie turned around, he saw his mother in her nightgown, rifle in hand, running towards him down the hill. Bertie was happy now that his mother has come to rescue him with a rifle and she has fired shot, so hyenas have gone away from there. He had never seen her run before. Between them, they gathered up and mud matted cub and brought him home. He was too weak to struggle, though he tired. As soon as they had given him some warm milk, they dunked him in the bath to wash him. As the first of the mud came off, Bertie saw he was white underneath. Bertie noticed that the lion cub is white and the lion cub was very weak to struggle. He was tired also. You see, he cried triumphantly. He is white, he is. I told you, didn't I? He is my white lion. His mother still could not bring herself to believe it. 5 baths later, she had to. Mother was not believing that it is a lion, but after giving 5 baths, she believed. They set him down by the stove in a washing basket and feed him again. All the milk he could drink, and he drank a lot. Then he lay down and slept. He was still asleep when Bertie's father got back at lunchtime. They told him how it had all happened. Now, when father came to home, Bertie and his mother narrated all the story that how it all had happened. Please, father, I want to keep him, Bertie requested to his father. And so do I, said his mother. We both do. And she spoke as Bertie had never heard her speak before, her voice strong, determined. Now, children, in this paragraph, Bertie and his mother both are requesting to father to keep the lion with them. Bertie's father did not seem to know quite how to reply, and he just said, "We will talk about it later." And then he walked out. They did talk about it later when Bertie was supposed to be in bed, but he was not. He heard them arguing. Mother and father both were arguing. He was outside the sitting room door, watching, listening. His father was pacing up and down, means his father was talking in some loud voice. Father said, "He will grow up, you know. You can't keep a grown lion. You know that. And you know we can't just throw him to the hyenas," mother said. "He needs us, and maybe we need him. He will be someone for Bertie to play with for a while." After all, it is not as if he is going to have any brother and sister, is it? Now, mother is requesting again and again to keep the lion. All right, father said, all right, you can keep your lion. So the white lion cub came to live amongst them in the farmhouse. He slept at the end of Bertie's bed. Wherever Bertie went, the lion cub went too, even to the bathroom. They were never apart. It was Bertie who saw to the feeding milk 4 times a day, until later on when the lion cub lapped from a soup bowl. There was impala meat, a special kind of African meat, whenever he wanted it. And as he grew fast, he wanted more and more of impala meat. For the first time in his life, Bertie was totally happy. The lion cub was all the brothers and sisters he could ever want. As the Bertie was a lone child, so the lion cub was his brothers and sisters he could ever want, and all the friends he could ever need. The two of them would sit side by side on the sofa and watch the great red sun go down over Africa. And Bertie would read him Peter and the Wolf a story, and at the end, he would always promise him that he would never let him go off to a zoo and live behind bars like the wolf in the story. And the lion cub would look up at Bertie with his trusting eyes. Now, mother said, why don't you give him a name? Now, children, do you know what the answer was there given by Bertie? Bertie said he is a lion, not a person, and lions don't need names. Bertie's mother was always wonderfully passionate with the lion. No matter how much mess he made, how many cushions he pounced on and ripped apart, means tear. No matter how much crockery he has broken. None of it seemed to upset her, and strangely, she was hardly ever ill these days. There was a spring to her step, means she was very active, and her laughter echoed around the house. His father was less happy about it. Father always said lions should not live in houses. You should keep him outside in the compound. But they never did. For both mother and son, the lion had brought new life to their days, life and laughter. So, children, this was the end of the story where father refuses to keep the lion and Bertie and his mother were requesting to his father to keep lion with them, and it brings a laughter and a new life to Bertie and his mother. So, children, now it's your turn to read the story once again to enjoy it again. We will meet soon in the next video with a new story. Till then, keep learning, keep reading, and keep growing.